Hi, Rob with Health Sidekick. I want to show you something that has helped me with losing weight. And again, as everybody knows, I was, I weighed 200 to 210 pounds most of my adult life. I started gaining weight at whatever 21. So you start working, 21, and pretty much just gained weight the whole time up until I was really 35 to 40 years old, and I started kind of trying to lose some weight at 35 and really didn't start losing it until about 40. But regardless of all that, I want to show you something that's helped me. And this may or may not resonate with you, but for me to lose weight, why I always kind of harp on having an accurate weight loss number is because I want to eat as much as possible and still lose weight. That's my goal. I mean, losing weight, let's face it, when you talk about weight loss, chances are, by the way, on every other site that you go on, you're going to get more calories to eat because they're off. And one of the reasons why they give you a lot of calories to eat, whether it be Weight Watch or this or that, is because they want to keep you on those sites. And if I tell you, like all the other sites and apps and diets that are out there, if I tell you, oh, you can eat as much protein as you want, many steaks as you want, and lose weight, you'll lose some weight in the beginning, sure, and then you'll gain it back. Or if I tell you you can eat 2,500 calories, or if I tell you you can have all these cheat days once a week and you can lose weight, well, and you can eat as many calories as you want. Well, none of that is true, but it might actually keep you interested in what's going on. What I want is I want to actually results, but I still want to be able to eat as much food as possible and lose weight. Now the reality is that if I'm eating as much food as I possibly can and still losing weight, that means that my weight loss is going to be fairly slow. That's the reality of it, because all of us have what obviously we call your HSK prime number, and your HSK prime number says this is the point where I don't gain or lose any weight. And for me to lose weight, I have to eat underneath that number. Now, here's the caveat there. Your HSK prime number is going to take time to adjust, and it's absolutely accurate based on what you log. So when you logged your foods, logged your activity, and you logged your weight, and ideally you log your weight every day, and you're logging those things consistently. When you log those things, it's going to give you an absolute accurate number based on what you've logged. Now, that being said, so 1,630 calories is my HSK prime number. That's where I don't gain or lose any weight. Okay, know it to be fact. Now I could go through the mathematics behind it with everybody, but this is the best way for you to figure out how much food minus the activities I do based on what you log. How much food can I eat? Now, me being the person that I am, I want to eat as much food as I possibly can and still lose. That's why it's important for me to have this number. It's empirical data. I know for a fact that this is it. So for example, if you look at my averages, when I go to click on averages, and you can do that into your dashboard, and if the majority of people can simply grasp this part of it, I think it will help a lot of people. If you go to your averages and you go over the last 7 days, my HSK prime number was 1,630 calories. And I ate after exercise. So I ate a total of 2,085 calories, and I burned an average of 424 calories a day. So I ate a net calories of 1,661. And guess what? I gained 0.07 tenths of a pound. I barely was over my HSK prime number, and I gained some weight. And that's what you would anticipate to happen. That's how accurate the HSK prime number. But here's the reality of this whole thing. Let's face it, 1,661 calories, unless you're trained to eat that amount of calories, that's not an easy task to do consistently, even for 7 days. Now, and to eat underneath that, let's go to my 60 day. My 60-day HSK prime number, I ate 1,620 net calories. So I ate 2,071 calories. That's how much I totally consumed. I burned an average of 451 calories a day. By the way, That's not with just my walking around. That's with going on a walk. I walk almost every day, and then I have an exercise program. I work out 3 times a week. That average for me, I burn 451 calories per day. I ate 1,620 net calories, and I simply ate 10 calories underneath my HSK prime number. That's eating as much food as I possibly can and still losing weight. And I lost 0.83 tenths of a pound. People might go, big deal. So you lost a pound over 60 days. Well, when I'm at this level of weight loss, and I'm basically where I want to be. I want to be somewhere between 169 and 171 in average weight. That's ideal for me. So I'm pretty much at my goal weight, but for that's significant, because guess what? For me to lose any more than that, I have to eat at a pretty big deficit. So the question you have to ask yourself is, the majority of people that are out there, although best intentioned, the majority of people won't stick with any type of program that has a huge calorie deficit to it. You just won't. It's hard. Once you get your HSK prime number, if for example, let's say I said, you know what? Let's say I go look at my daily and I go, I want to lose. I'm at 1,630. That's my HSK prime number. And let's say I said, I want to lose 5 pounds over the next 2 months. That means I would have to eat consistently at a 300 calorie deficit under my HSK prime number, or 1,300 calories. Is that realistic for someone like me? Well, at least in my weight loss journey, that hasn't been realistic for me. I'm not the type of person that eats at a huge deficit, and I'm going to tell you this, the majority of people aren't. So what happens with the majority of people is they start off with this number that is already wrong. The numbers on every single other site, generally, unless you are one of the few that fit into their general estimates, the general equations that people use, the Harris-Benedict or the Mifflin, all of them use the same exact equation. Unless you're one of those people that fit into it, you're starting out with a general estimate that's probably off and giving you too many calories to eat. That's number one. Then what people do is they'll set a calorie goal that is that is extreme. 400 or 500 calories. It makes it very difficult for the people to stick with it. I know it makes difficult. I would never have lost any weight and I never did, trying to eat at a big deficit like that. It just didn't work for me. So here's what I'm trying to explain to everybody. Know what your HSK prime number is. It's going to take time to get an accurate number because it's going to take time for it to log. But at least you'll have the truth about your weight loss. Then you can make a decision on how you want to lose weight. There may be days that you can eat at a significant weight deficit to your HSK prime number, but chances are chances are, and if you could keep this goal in mind, is that just on average, if you go and you click on your averages, just on average, try to stay below your HSK prime number, just over on an average period of time. Over a 6-month period, I ate 30 calories underneath my HSK prime number. This was my HSK prime number. I ate 30 calories on average over 6 months, and I lost 1.5 pounds. That may not seem like a big deal, but at this stage of my life and this stage of my weight loss, it is. And it just shows you that I'm eating almost as much food as I possibly can eat and still lose. Here's the thing, you can do that too. And if you focus on your HSK prime number, logging, and just staying underneath that number, that's the easiest way to weight loss, is the bottom line. It doesn't get any easier than that right there. You're eating as much food as you possibly can, because anything over this number and you're going to gain weight. That's the end of that. That's the fact of life, is that you will gain weight eating over that. So by having this accurate number, it allows you to eat as much food as you possibly can and still lose. So if over the next year you wanted to lose weight and you wanted to make it as easy as possible on yourself, you'll get an accurate HSK prime number by logging and logging your weight. You'll get that number, and then you'll focus on simply staying underneath that number on your averages. And it won't always happen. Like I said, over the last 7 days, I ate over my HSK prime number by 30 calories and I gained some weight over the last 14 days. But over my longer term trend, I kept it underneath my HSK prime number. For example, over the last 60 days, I was under it by 10 calories. That's all. And I lost some weight. And that's the important thing to focus on is that if you want to make it as easy as possible, you can always choose to eat at a bigger deficit if you want and lose it quicker. But if you want to make it as easy as possible on yourself, you barely eat under your HSK prime number. And guess what? All of a sudden, a year from now, you're going to be lighter. 2 years from now, you're going to be lighter. 3 years from now, you're going to be lighter. And it's going to be the easiest way. And you'll drop weight consistently over a period of time. But here's the thing that you have to remember. It's the easiest way that you possibly can do it. You're eating as much food and while you're still losing weight. I hope that helps.